I'm sorry, honey, but you know, toys don't last forever.
Toy Story and its sequels may help us reconnect with idyllic imagery of childhood, complete with trips to Pizza Planet and a toy box that invites maximum nostalgia. But at the heart of these movies, there's actually a dark worry and panic driving the adventures of Woody and his fellow toy friends. On closer inspection, all of Toy Story is really about the fear of abandonment.
Andy gets another dinosaur, a mean one. I just don't think I can take that kind of rejection.
The toys live in an unstable environment. They dread every Christmas, birthday party, and yard sale, as they're in danger of being cast aside.
I know Andy's excited about Buzz, but you know, he'll always have a special place for you.
Yeah, like the attic.
They meet other toys who have already lived their worst nightmare.
We were lost, cast off, unloved.
And they know there's a clock ticking, as Andy will eventually grow up and have no use for them.
Andy's growing up, and there's nothing you can do about it.
While we tend to think of abandonment issues as a specific problem only affecting those who've known extreme neglect or similar ordeals, the Toy Story franchise makes us realize that in some form, the fear of abandonment is a universal terror that plagues us throughout our lives.
I can't do storage again, I just can't!
Jesse!
I won't go back in the dark!
Children dread the loss of their parents, and then grow up to worry about the loss of their own children. In these movies, the toys play both these roles. On the one hand, they're the kids who are totally dependent on their parent-like human, but on the other, they are the parents caring for a child who will one day outgrow them. In Toy Story 4, Woody is like the empty nester who has to finally face being out on his own and ask if life can still have meaning beyond the relationship that's always defined him. So here's our take on how the Toy Story films force us to confront the repressed horror that underlies the very fabric of our existence.
Will Andy pick me?
Don't count on it! Aww.
Before we go on, we want to talk about this video's sponsor. Skillshare is an online learning community where you can learn everything from video editing to business strategy, coding, or lucid dreaming. They offer 25,000 online classes from famous teachers at the top of their field. And right now, Skillshare is offering our viewers 2 months access to all their classes for free. So click the link in the description below to sign up now. First, let's look at how in this setup, the toys are the children, who see Andy and then Bonnie as their parent. Woody and his friends channel a kid's feeling of being totally reliant on a grown-up. We see how vulnerable they are out in the world and how they fear being taken by someone with ulterior motives.
It's a dangerous world out there for a toy.
The fear of abandonment is usually associated with some kind of childhood trauma. And while the main Toy Story toys have a loving father figure who genuinely cares about them, they encounter signs of trauma all around in their world. They've met other toys who've been abandoned.
You never forget kids like Emily or Andy, but they forget you.
They've seen their friends discarded right in front of them.
Yeah, we've lost friends along the way. Wheezy and Etch and Bo Peep.
The villain of the first movie is the vicious toy abuser Sid,
He tortures toys just for fun!
whose carpet is an homage to Stanley Kubrick's The Shining. This links Sid to Jack Torrance, who attacks his own family,
Here's Johnny!
becoming an evil perversion of what a father should be. So there are very real threats out in the world for these toys to fear. Just as even if kids in our world aren't the victims of abuse or neglect, they're probably aware from a fairly early age that these things affect other kids and are a possibility for them. On the day-to-day level, Andy's toys are troubled by a lack of emotional security, as they know they can always be replaced.
It's just a mistake.
Well, that mistake is sitting in your spot, Woody. Have you been replaced?
This breeds a culture of competition and infighting among them.
Listen, Light Snack, you stay away from Andy. He's mine, and no one is taking him away from me.
The toys rarely get their parents' undivided attention.
It's just that I've been looking forward to this all year. It's my one time with just me and Andy.
For these toys, their owner is a godlike creator who gives them life simply by declaring them toys.
Hello, I'm Forky.
An exaggeration of the way that parents give life to their kids and get to name them. They get their sense of belonging and identity from having Andy's name written on them, getting at how as kids, we derive our ideas of who we are from our parents.
Oh, Bullseye! We're part of a family again!
But in these toys' case, due to the hyper-competitive and insecure environment, that reliance on the parent for identity is taken to an unhealthy extreme. They believe that they need to be perfect to earn love and attention. In Toy Story 2, Woody believes Andy won't take him to camp because Woody's hat is missing.
This will be the first year I miss cowboy camp, all because of my stupid hat.
Woody's hat is found after all, but when his arm rips, Andy does decide to leave him behind.
Maybe we can fix him on the way.
No, just leave him.
Confirming a child's worst fear, that his parent figure's love is conditional.
What happened?
Woody's been shelved.
This stressful situation may remind us of the ruthless achievement culture that some young people grow up in today. Children in a cutthroat world may feel that they have to live up to impossible ideals in order to earn their parents' and culture's approval, even if the parent does love their kids no matter what and doesn't intend to send this message.
One more rip and Eddie's done with me. And what do I do then, Buzz, huh?
The toys may also be giving expression to anxiety that Andy is feeling in his own childhood. We never see or hear about Andy's dad, and story supervisor Matthew Lunn has explained, quote, "If there was a dad in Toy Story, the boy would not have had such a need for a doll who represents a kind of authority figure like Buzz." The first movie also takes place during a time of transition in Andy's life. He's recently become a big brother, he's celebrating a birthday, and he's preparing to move. And while Andy himself doesn't seem to be struggling with these changes, we could interpret the toys as giving voice to what he's feeling deep inside.
Oh, I hate all this uncertainty!
The way Buzz and Woody clash looks like classic sibling rivalry, something Andy may be feeling, even if we aren't privy to it.
Couldn't handle Buzz cutting in on your playtime, could you, Woody? Didn't want to face the fact that Buzz just might be Andy's new favorite toy.
Now let's look at how the toys are like parents to Andy.
Woody, take care of Andy.
Yeah. He's a good kid.
They see their whole purpose as taking care of this person who doesn't seem to realize they have inner lives of their own, much as kids often don't notice or appreciate the hard work their parents do to look after them.
What matters is that we're here for Andy when he needs us. That's what we're made for, right?
Woody believes he was put on this earth to make a child happy.
Somewhere in that pat of stuffing is a toy who taught me that life's only worth living if you're being loved by a kid.
And this reflects a parent's feeling that their most important role is giving their kids a stable, comfortable childhood. Most centrally, the toys watch Andy grow up, knowing that one day he won't need them anymore. Just as parents raise their kids with the understanding that eventually their little ones will want independent lives of their own.
How long will it last, Woody? Do you really think Andy is going to take you to college? Or on his honeymoon?
Sure enough, they're eventually dismissed as uncool and useless.
Mom, no one's gonna want those old toys. They're junk.
In the same way that teens and young adults typically start to write off their parents.
Why didn't you just say pick up your feet?
I didn't know if you were tired.
You were being passive aggressive.
No, I wasn't.
You are so infuriating.
In the third movie, as Andy gets ready to head to college, the toys embody a parent's sadness at being left behind by their child as they grow up.
How long's it been since you all got played with?
It's been years.
They're like the parents of adolescents, soon-to-be empty nesters, mourning a time when their kids paid more attention to them. Woody is the lone toy Andy plans to bring to college with him, but Woody's turning point comes when he witnesses this moment between Andy and his mom.
I wish I could always be with you.
Andy's mom expresses what Woody himself feels, and Woody realizes that just as Andy won't be bringing his mom to college with him, it doesn't make sense for Woody to go either. Instead, he makes the hard choice to join his friends in the donation box, separating himself from Andy for Andy's own good, since part of a parent's role is pushing the little bird out of the nest and letting it learn to fly on its own. Andy's goodbye to his toys,
thanks guys,
underlines how the toys' job as parents is done. They gave Andy a happy childhood.
We done our duty. Andy's grown up.
Now it's time to do that for Bonnie, who is very much like their grandchild. While we speak of the fear of abandonment, for the toys it's really a certainty of abandonment. And Toy Story captures that, in fact, for all of us, abandonment is an inevitability.
We all knew this day was coming.
Yeah, but now it's here.
Look, every toy goes through this.
Eventually, in one way or another, parents and children lose each other to time.
Molly and I have been growing apart for years. It's just, I can't believe she would throw me away.
So the movies are asking the question, how do we live with the knowledge that eventually the person at the center of our world won't need or want us anymore?
What's the point in prolonging the inevitable? We're all just one stitch away from here to there.
You
yard sale.
The villains of Toy Story 2 and Toy Story 3 show us what not to do. Prospector and Lotso are embittered by abandonment and respond by becoming tyrannical villains. Prospector has never been chosen and loved by a kid.
I'll tell you what's not fair. Spending a lifetime on a dime store shelf watching every other toy be sold.
While Lotso was forgotten and replaced by his owner,
She only replaced you.
She replaced all of us, didn't she?
both toys are so scarred by this lack of love that they try to convince other toys they're doomed as well.
You'll all be ruined, forgotten, spending eternity rotting in some landfill.
We're all just trash, waiting to be thrown away.
Lotso even creates a narrative where his owner Daisy never cared about him at all.
She loved you, Lotso.
She never loved me.
But this cynical worldview isn't right. Daisy did care about him. Lotso was her favorite toy, and he wasn't replaced out of cruelty, but necessity. So the movies are pushing us to face the reality of abandonment, but that doesn't mean we should view this picture in the harshest possible light. Essentially, the moral of the story is that even if being loved is a transient experience, it's still worth it.
You still worried?
About Andy? Nah. It'll be fun while it lasts.
In Toy Story 3, it pains Andy to let go of his toys, and there's something oddly comforting about this, as it shows that you can love something and still need to let it go. The way Andy passes on the toys to Bonnie shows he really does care that they have a great home. He's just realized that he's not that home anymore.
I'm going away now, so I need someone really special to play with them.
In this franchise, the solution to the problem of abandonment is that the toys can always be passed on to someone else.
Andy'll love you. Besides, he's got a little sister.
He does? Why didn't you say so? Let's go!
This is pretty optimistic when it comes to literal toys, as in our world, kids tend to want their own brand new stuff, and at a certain point, old toys get thrown out.
Let's face it, when the trash bags come out, we Army guys are the first to go.
But the lesson here is that it's important to find a new purpose in your life after one chapter comes to an end. In the fourth movie, Bonnie makes a new toy, Forky.
She literally made a new friend. I want you to meet Forky.
And we see how Woody has evolved past the jealousy he experienced in the first movie. He now looks out for Forky because he knows the toy is important to Bonnie.
Forky is the most important toy to Bonnie right now. We all have to make sure nothing happens to him.
But more importantly, Woody starts seeing a broader world through Bo Peep. Producer Jonas Rivera said, quote, his worst fear, he said it all along, was being a lost toy. What if she represented something that would challenge his place in the world and just lean into that?
Who needs a kid's room when you can have all of this?
So Woody's biggest challenge yet is to create a new individual identity that's not centered on the parent-child relationship. After their kids grow up, all parents do the same. But in fact, all stages of life demand this self-reinvention from us. We have to dramatically reshape our conceptions of ourselves, set out into the scary unknown, and leave the people we love most behind, knowing that this doesn't devalue how much we did love them, and that we will continue to carry them in our hearts.
Now, Woody, he's been my pal for as long as I can remember.
The Toy Story movies highlight that our identities are so often formed in relation to others. Woody sees himself as Andy's toy, and he struggles to conceive of an identity beyond that.
Well, if you knew him, you'd understand. You see, Andy's
Let me guess. Andy's a real special kid. And to him, you're his buddy, his best friend.
But over time, Woody is forced to see himself as more.
So long, partner.
Multiple toys in Toy Story have to go through an existential crisis about what it is to be a toy.
You are a toy!
Woody, you're not a collector's item. You're a child's plaything.
I am not a toy.
Which we might interpret as a metaphor for asking what we are apart from our relationships. This is central in the fourth movie, as Forky is not even really a toy in the traditional sense of the word. He's not store-bought or anything fancy. He's just a spork Bonnie decorated and decided to play with.
I was made for soup, salad, maybe chili, and then the trash.
Thus, this character exposes how fragile the category of toy is. It's anything that's brought to life by our love and imagination.
And when Andy plays with you, it's like, even though you're not moving, you feel like you're alive. Because that's how he sees you.
What these characters come to understand over time is that being a toy and making a child happy is their life's purpose.
I was made to help a child.
They can't run from that, and once they accept it, the fear of abandonment is no longer so scary, because all the years leading up to the goodbye were worth it.
I can't stop Andy from growing up, but I wouldn't miss it for the world.
Hi guys, this is Isaac, the newest team member of The Take, and today I want to talk to you about Skillshare, an online learning community we love, with over 25,000 classes taught by seasoned pros. Skillshare has a class on pretty much anything you could want. You can develop your creativity through a class on calligraphy, graphic design, or writing. You can learn to succeed in business with classes on how to make it as a freelancer, market a podcast, or become an Instagram influencer. You can use it to master new technology through classes on web design, coding, and data science. Or you can bring that extra flair into your lifestyle. Sharpen your knife skills, learn paper making, speak Spanish, or let Fraser Davidson, a BAFTA award-winning director and animator, teach you how to animate amazing characters. Right now, Skillshare is offering our viewers 2 months access to all their classes for free. Just click the link in the description below to check it out today.